Hey everyone, welcome to Dreaming Tree. Today we're putting together the Your Tweet card. It's the latest coordinating freebie to go along with our new Valentine's Day release, and it's a play on words, very simple little card, a lot of paper piecing. This would be a great little project to do with a child, and let's take a look at what we have here in front of me. I've got the card base, which I've already folded in half. We're going to start off by just putting the little back panel in place. This is going to get glued down right here. We're going to have a nice border all the way around, showing a little bit of the this little pink color, the peony color. So let's get our glue bottle rolling here, and we'll get that in place. Then we'll do some assembly. We've also included a little print to cut should you decide to use that. We do have a video on how to do print and cut on our website, so head over to the help section and select your machine. I don't know that we have a print and cut for the Brother ScanNCut because I don't even think that really supports true print and cut. Okay, so we've got our panel on the back. We're gonna kind of work on the inside now and grab this piece. This is our main little base here. And we're gonna begin by putting our little birdies in place. We've got a blue one and a nice lavender birdie. And those are just gonna go right on this little platform or shadow layer, as I like to call it. You wanna just simply get that lined up with that shadow layer. And again, inking is totally optional. I went ahead and just did some inking on this just to, just jazz it up a tiny little bit because I'm so used to inking all of our projects, and there's a certain style and aesthetic that comes with the ink. And I kind of laid these on here without the ink, and it just seemed to be missing something. And it just goes to show that once you start inking, you kind of don't want to turn back. You get used to it. So this is a little piece, and you can again cut this out plain like I did here, or you can use the print to cut version. If you cut this out plain, obviously it's a perfect little area to use a stamp, or if you want to use your machine to write something, you can do that. If you've got some single line fonts, there's a great website. It's called singlelinefonts.com that create really beautiful single line fonts for any electronic cutting machine that has a little pen adapter. Okay, so essentially that's all this is totally optional, and I goofed up, but you can, if you want, you can take and actually use some foam squares and foam square these out to give these little birdies a little bit of dimension. And that's what I'm gonna do. You can kind of see where I goofed up and had to rip this off, but that's essentially what the final look will look like when you use little foam squares. Just kind of takes a simple card and, well, makes it a little more interesting. Now, obviously, if you want to make it even more interesting, you can emboss some of these pieces, whichever piece you want. Okay, and we're going to take this whole thing and apply our glue. And get that glued down. Now, on the inner part of our card here, you'll notice that you have some little markers to help you with the positioning. There are two little kind of V shapes pointing towards each other here. Those are going to match up with the little corners here where the heart meets this little area for your caption or your stamp. So just get that lined up with those little markers, and then of course give it a little visual check and make sure that this is nice and even with the bottom as well. Okay, you can see how the hearts, when you close this, they'll stick through, so you don't have to worry about them getting flattened or beat up or anything like that. And then you'll also notice in this area here a series of hearts, or little markers I should say, and what we're going to do is I'm gonna use my little pick-me-up tool just so that I can make this a little bit easier. And I'm gonna start with my white one here. And kind of like I do with the bling, you can certainly just kind of dab it into some glue and do it that way. Our white heart is going to go right here. You'll again notice some markers right at the butt of the heart where the two chambers kind of meet. So there's a marker here, and then there's a marker here at the very tip. Okay, then we're going to grab, we've got this little heart here, and that one, let me see, that one's going to go right, where does that one go? That one's going to go right here, okay? And as an alternative, you can just simply throw some glue on like that, and then get that into place using the little markers. Pop that in place. I'll grab my tiny little purple one, and I'm just going to put a tiny little dot of glue on that. Don't need a lot. And that's going to go next to our little blue birdie. Like that. And then we have a larger, I think this is AC Lollipop. Oops. There we go. Again, just using the markers to get these spaced correctly. And then finally, we have one more little blue heart. And make sure I'm looking at the right side here. There we go. And we'll pop that into place, like so. Okay. Now, one other thing we can do, because birds need to be able to see what they're doing and where they're flying. I've got some little rhinestones here, and I'm just going to kind of put one there and see. That size is probably good. I don't want to make them too big since these birds are kind of petite. And pull those off, which essentially takes off the sticky back, and just throw a little bit of, one tiny little dot of glue on the back of that little rhinestone there, and put the eyeball in place right there, like that. Grab the other one, and then depending on where you put that one, just try to keep it consistent with his little friend there, or her little friend. And that one's going to go there, just like that. Okay, so now they can see each other. Okay, so that closes like that. And then we're going to take this piece, and this piece is going to get glued right here to the front. I also inked this with a little bit of turquoise, just to jazz it up a little bit. I only did the perimeter since we've got a patterned piece that's going to go over this piece, and it's going to kind of hide the inner part, or the inner heart. Okay, so no sense in wasting ink in areas that you don't need to. So get that lined up with the main card base. Press that down. Okay, and then just to give this a little extra oomph, I'm going to flip this piece over, and we're going to add some foam squares to this as well, and raise this up a bit, just to make the card more interesting. So anywhere you see fit, especially on something that goes rather quick, this card shouldn't take more than 10 minutes, if that. Feel free to add dimension wherever you want. Okay, so you're going to line that up with the heart on the inner part. And there you have it. Okay, there's your little card, a little sentiment there. Plenty of room for a little message or something on the back. That's pretty much it for the card. You know what we're going to do is we're going to throw a little rhinestone in the center there. Make sure I have a red one. Do I have any red ones? No, they're all kind of red. And that's a good fit there. Using my handy little pick-me-up tool, press that down. Make sure you get it nice and centered. There we go. Give that a little nudge. Make sure you get it in the right spot. There we go. Okay. And finally, as always, we've got a coordinating envelope to go along with the card. And we have this little contrasting piece for the flap. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put glue on the main part of the flap here. Go easy on the glue here, like so. Okay, and I'll take this and just kind of push it up against the little score mark there, and then just bring this down, make sure it's centered, and press that into place, like so. And there we go. And there's your envelope flap. I've already pre-folded these tabs here. Just make sure that they're folded in. We're going to take and apply glue to these two tabs. Very thin amount, you don't need a lot, but make sure you get that glue out to the edge. I'm going to go out there. There we go. And then take this side and just fold it over. And press it down into place and hold for moments. And there's your beautiful coordinating envelope. Keep pressing that down. And you can see here, again, I'm kind of jumping the gun here. And there we go. Fits nice and snug, ready to go. And that's it, guys. Very simple card. Well, that about does it for this one. Really cute, really quick. And like I said, definitely something that your child can make on their own, I'm sure. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. So you can head on over there, hit that subscribe button, and then while you're there, hit the little bell so that you get notifications anytime we release a new product. And if you make this or anything from our lovely Thoughts SVG bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would our dreamers. So head over to your Facebook page, do a search for Dreaming Tree Group, and that's where you can find myself and the rest of the Dreaming Tree gang. But anyways, hope you guys have a great weekend. If you're doing this around Valentine's Day, hope you have a great Valentine's Day. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again.